All right, Josh. One final thing that I want to touch up on before we end the show, and that is the fact that Yoshinobu Yamamoto is still a free agent. Earlier in the week, it looks like he had his meeting with the Dodgers. There was that photo that was circulating on Twitter that I sent to you that the Dodgers had the "Welcome to Dodger Stadium" graphic on their jumbotrons. And then it came out later in the day that not only was he having his meeting at Dodger Stadium, that the Dodgers brought out the top guns. Mookie Betts was there. Freddie Freeman was there. Will Smith was there, and Shohei Ohtani was also in attendance. And I think Yamamoto met with the Phillies yesterday. He's probably going to meet with a couple other teams, so his decision probably isn't going to be for another week or so. But Josh, I mean, all the rumors we've heard about Yamamoto growing up a Dodgers fan, knowing Shohei Ohtani apparently is making a massive pitch to the Dodgers front office saying, I want you guys to sign this guy. We saw Shohei take, a huge discount so the Dodgers could afford to make these kind of signings. As of right now, again, there's no rumor or report as to which way he's leaning. People think it's a 50-50 split between the Dodgers and the Yankees, but seeing the Dodgers go this all out for Yamamoto, seeing Shohei Ohtani going this all out to try and get Yamamoto, I'm personally confident that the Dodgers can get it done. And if they somehow are able to sign Yamamoto to whatever the contract is going to be, all of a sudden now this starting rotation for the Dodgers is absolutely filthy.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary good, and this is a player that obviously, as we all know, is unproven in Major League Baseball. But I think it goes without saying that he's been nothing short of ridiculous these last few years in one of the best leagues in the world. And I think it's pretty clear that he immediately slots in as an ace caliber pitcher. And I know that obviously a lot of the top teams are interested in him. You know, Mets and Yankees have both been tied to him. But I think it really bodes well for the Dodgers, especially after the Shohei signing, which again is why Shohei is priority number one, because this is a player that's played with Shohei, at an international level. Top pitcher coming out of Japan. They know each other. Allegedly, Yamamoto was a Dodgers fan growing up. The best pitch you can have is Shohei wants to be here. Why wouldn't you want to be here? And then
Right.
also here's a check. Like I think that that's a pretty good pitch for the Dodgers just by itself. So obviously, as we know, he was meeting allegedly at Dodger Stadium the other day. Mookie, Freddie, and Shohei were all involved, and I think that that bodes well for the Dodgers. Of course, anything could still happen. I've heard within the last 24 hours or so that maybe there's a fourth team that people weren't expecting to get involved in the mix as well. But I think right now the Dodgers are probably in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean, the recruiting job they've been doing is fantastic. And at the end of the day, they'll offer money to Yamamoto. And I think there have been reports saying he cares about the money, but money isn't going to be what ultimately the final deciding factor is going to be because at the end of the day, if you're signing a $260 million contract or a $300 million contract, you're still pretty much set up for life. It's just a matter of what does he prefer. I've seen a bunch of reports saying he might not want to share the spotlight with Shohei Ohtani. He might want to go somewhere where he'd kind of be like the guy, which again, I got no issue with if that's what he wants. But if he truly, cares about winning, wants to be on a winning team for the next decade, play alongside a guy that he is friends with, that he's known for a long time, it really is hard to see how the Dodgers don't sign him unless Steve Cohen comes out and gives him 350 million or something like that, or yeah, he just says, yeah, I didn't want to share the spotlight with Ohtani. I kind of didn't want to be in that kind of light with him. So we'll have to wait and see. But all signs point to Dodgers, and if that's the case, again, what a rotation it's going to be. The Dodgers, I know they're kind of hitting it close now to the whole luxury tax threshold with all these different numbers. I think Jack Harris tweeted out before the show the Dodgers are right at about 250 million, so they're going over that 237 threshold, and I think they have 27 million to go until they get to the next threshold. But at this point, I don't think the Dodgers care about going over the threshold because again, Shohei wants them to win, and if they want to win, they got to sign the big guys. But also, since Shohei is only getting 2 million, they're kind of getting like a $40 million off coupon, Josh, in a way,
Yeah.
because although Shohei's number towards the luxury tax is 46 million, that's just kind of like imaginary money. So they're not spending that 46 million, that's just a number. So theoretically, let's say the payroll is 280 million and you got to pay $40 million in taxes. Well, the $40 million in taxes, again, think of that as the money that you're saving by not paying Shohei. So although you're going to see the number that the Dodgers are spending is going to be high, take 40 million away from that because that's what the number is actually going to be. So hopefully they're aggressive with Yamamoto. I personally have no problem with whatever they offer him because although the Glass Now edition is nice, the Dodgers do need another starting pitcher. They need another ace. And if they bring in Yamamoto, you're getting a guy who's only 25, who has not even probably entered his prime yet, that can be your number one, number two starter for the next decade plus. So I hope the Dodgers go all in. I know Shohei hopes they go all in because a rotation of Yamamoto, Glasnow, Buehler, Bobby Miller, that would be absolutely something. So, Josh, any final thoughts on Yamamoto? Is there a number that you would kind of be hesitant with, or are you at the stage now where you're just thinking, just do whatever it takes to make it happen?
Yeah, I say just get him. Just do whatever it takes. The one thing that I'm interested in seeing is, you mentioned, for the next decade plus. I wonder if it's not that long. I mean, Shohei signing for the next 10 years is going to be huge in trying to get Yamamoto here long term. But I really
Yeah,
wouldn't be surprised to see him do similar to what Shohei did, where 5 or 6 year deal to start off. And then if you're a free agent, see what kind of money you can bring in after those next few years. And also maybe see if there's something else open for you. Because, when Shohei came over, his priorities seemed to be a little bit different than what they were now when he chose the Dodgers. Because originally, right, he didn't want a huge market, right? So originally he was tied to the Angels, he was tied to the Mariners. And then this next time when he comes out, you've got all these big market teams that are the front runners. And the Dodgers did not seem to be really in the mix for Shohei the first time. Maybe the priorities change a little bit for Yamamoto in the future. So sign a shorter deal. But of course, if you're the Dodgers, you're looking at kind of locking up and getting that security for even longer. So
yeah.
I'm cool with what it takes to get him, especially with the way that the Shohei deal worked out and we talked about earlier, and especially after the Glasnow deal. If you have an opportunity to lock in what could already be by itself one of the best dynamic duos in a rotation in baseball before they've even thrown a pitch for your organization, before Yamamoto has thrown a pitch in Major League Baseball, that's huge. And then the opportunity to add Bobby Miller, great, but then also Walker Buehler, and then at some point Shohei Ohtani, and then just maybe Clayton Kershaw somewhere in that
Yeah.
mix as well. I I say do what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard not to get excited. Like you said, maybe he does a contract where he has opt outs, maybe something like an 8 year deal, then maybe like opt outs after the third or fourth year. I'm sure they'll get creative with whatever it is, but yeah, I'm at the point now. Give him whatever he wants, lock up Yamamoto, lock up the entire, Japanese market, because if they get Shohei and Yamamoto, I don't know how anyone over there could not be a Dodgers fan and not watching every game. So we'll see. Again, we don't know when Yamamoto's decision is going to come. It could be this weekend, could be a week or 2 weeks from now. I think his deadline is like January 4th, January 5th. It's like the first week of January. So he still does have some time, but that does wrap up today's episode. There is still a lot of other Dodgers news and rumors that we're going to get to in the coming days, in the coming weeks, so make sure to stay tuned for that. A lot of great content coming, and hopefully the next episode, Josh, all the news we have to get to is going to be on the back burner because we're talking about Yamamoto signing with the Dodgers. So